Welcome back, everybody. End one, start another. This one's going to be juicy. Trust me, I was watching it and I had to watch it multiple times, sometimes just to make sure, did she really just say that? And also to make sure I could write down and timestamp everything. The last couple minutes are not great for her, so we're not even going to get to that. And in total, it's like 28 minutes, I think, in total. But it's going to be great. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. Okay. Let me just make sure everything's up and running. Hopefully, everyone makes it over from the other live. And yeah, I could see some people in the chat. What up, everybody? Thank you for hopping over. This one's going to be fun. I can't wait to show you. All right. Make sure I'm going to look at my other feed. All right. Everything looks good. And in the chat, everything look good. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Hear me good. Video, audio looks good. All right. Let's get it. Let's get with it.
So grateful to be here. This is really special. It's the first tour stop. And I have to say a really special thank you to Greg and Kathy, because
let's put those two in context. Greg Laurie is embroiled in some allegations and some charges against an individual that he allowed to be in charge of his Romanian orphanage for over a decade and was sending him $17,000 a month into his personal account to do with at his will. So much so, he was using the money to groom and to bribe family members, children. It became such a known issue that pastors in the community out there and in surrounding area around Harvest Christian Fellowship and that knew Greg Laurie and the orphanage, they brought it up and it had to be investigated. And of course, what do you know? Swept under the rug. He was left to still be in charge of that orphanage for another 4 years. How many countless victims did Greg Laurie allow this guy to become victims? I can't say some of the words because it's just so heinous and disgusting. But that's who Erika Kirk is partnering with and decided to start out her tour. Okay. And she's giving a glowing review.
when all of this happened, you really see who your true friends are. You see who is in your corner. You see who is writing, excuse me, this microphone, who is writing my husband's coattails and who genuinely cared.
So about that, I was going to pull up a clip, but I'll just tell you what it said. Tyler Boyer, when he first met, and it's just audio, there's no video to it. So that's why I'm not going to pull it up and have you guys look at a screen and it's just his audio. He goes, Tyler Boyer, the guy that's running Turning Point Action, the political arm of TPUSA, the 501c4, that guy that's known Erika Kirk longer before Erika's known Charlie. In fact, he's the one that introduced them. He's the one that set it up. He's the one that set that meeting up. Okay. This guy, when he met Charlie, didn't go, what an amazing young man. I believe in his mission. I want to help this guy do great things. No, he goes, I can hitch my wagon to that guy. I mean, everyone knows what that statement means. You're going to profit off of this guy's abilities. You knew he was going places and you wanted to hitch your wagon to that. And that's disgusting. And she wants to claim that certain people out there that didn't support her weren't friends of Charlie's. But the ones that have stuck by her and supported her through all of this, those are Charlie's real friends. No, I'm sorry.
And who genuinely wanted to be there for us as a family. And anyways, everyone, does their best to pour into you and be there for you. And Greg and Kathy both said something to me very, very important and special that really struck my spirit when they said it. And it was different than unlike anything else anyone else said, because they've experienced tremendous love and loss. And they said, this is going to be very difficult, obviously. They said, but if you are able to turn this pain, extreme pain, into a purpose that is far greater than yourself, you'll be okay. And that stuck with me because
I'm going to hop to the first good timestamp. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put you guys through that. My bad. I mean, I know it was only like a minute, but it was a minute too long. Let me get right to where it all begins. All right. At 5:24. Let me get there. Okay.
And just the constant support up against the immense spiritual warfare that we are constantly facing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything.
That's how long it took her to thank those two, just so you know. All right.
But I've noticed when people have asked me, how am I doing? It's always that awkward moment where they feel uncomfortable asking, because they'll preface it like, I feel really weird asking this, but how are you doing? And I have to say, I'm actually very grateful that they asked that question. It's not
Yeah, because it gives her an opportunity to talk about herself, guys. It gives her an opportunity to tell you how great TPUSA is doing, how many sales of hats they've done at Amfest and at the memorial, how many people signed up to donate, how much money they've brought in, how many people they got to register. How are you doing? I think people that really want to know how you're doing is, how the heck are you doing anything at all other than taking care of your kids at home and barely keeping it together? How? We just don't understand how. Oh, wait. There is a thought. Because you didn't love him. I mean, I'm going to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Oh, and because it seems that you are a part of whatever the cover up is happening after the fact. And on Candace's show today, boy, was that good. And I'll get into that later. Oh, I didn't mean to click back. Hold on.
Uncomfortable. It's actually a very good question. People, say, how are you able to get up every day? How are you able to lead? How are you able to keep moving forward? How do you just keep showing up? And the Word of God it's always been very important to me, but now even more so. I keep Charlie's Bible, obviously, like right by where he sleeps. I have it opened up by where he sleeps. And then I'll have another Bible throughout the house. So I kind of like walk by and I'm like walking through and I'm like, okay, it's like a little Bible snack, if you will, where you're like, what does this verse say? Like everywhere I'm going, I'm like, please, dear God, just like I need you fully. And so, but it's really interesting because to me, you just find a way to stand. You just do. It is so hard, but you find a way to stand. And
I missed a part because I'd written a lot of this down, but I wrote so much down that it's not all in one spot, but I'm going to read it. I'm not going to show you what I wrote. I'm just going to speak to you. All right. But that she claimed that all her and Charlie wanted from everyone is their prayers. She just wanted their prayers. But at the memorial event, she had no problem selling merch, getting donors, signing up new prospective voters. That would have been the time, young lady, at his memorial to say, this is a big event. We didn't want to sell anything here. We wanted this day to be about remembering Charlie and who he was and what he stood for. But it seemed to be about numbers, money, size, and organizational growth. That's what it seemed to be about. What do you guys think?
Going through scripture heavily, the two moments that have stuck out to me through all of this with regard to standing, one where you're standing in suffering, and then one where you're standing against the wickedness of the devil. And the most beautiful depiction of standing in the suffering for me was in John chapter 19, verse 25, where you have Mary, the mother of
There it is. 7 minutes, guys, and 48 seconds. She went 7 minutes and 48 seconds without comparing herself to Christ's father, or Christ's mother, sorry, to Mary. Once again, she has to put herself and how she's handled the death of her husband and how Mary handled the Son of God, Christ himself being crucified on the cross. Sweetheart, you are not like her at all. And the fact that you keep comparing yourself to her is more than enough proof for me to know how far off the mark you are.
Jesus, standing at the foot of the cross. She just watched the most unjust violence take place against the love of her life, love of our life. And what did she do? She didn't scream. She didn't accuse.
She's telling this story for a reason. And she's pointing out these facts about what Mary did and did not do for a reason. And she is, without saying it, because we're all thinking it, well, what did Erika do after the assassination? Oh, she didn't scream. She didn't yell. She didn't get angry and ask for justice or this or that. She forgave him on the stage at his memorial. What a holy woman this woman is.
Didn't try to explain God. She wasn't pulling her hair out. She just stood.
Yeah, but you didn't just stand, Erika. You didn't just stand. You took on the new role of CEO at Turning Point, and you planned his memorial, and you ran his memorial, and then AmFest, and then every event since, and then those meetings at work. And, I promise we won't fire you, and then you fire him, talking about numbers, percentage, and growth. You didn't just stand in quiet. And furthermore, it's weird that you didn't do any of the things that you're saying. Yeah, Mary didn't do. I mean, it's a different culture. But anyway, the fact that you didn't pull your hair and ask for justice and even shake your fist at God, how could you do this and take him from me? Doesn't make sense, because yeah, I'm a Christian man, but I'll admit that I would be beside myself if something like this happened to my wife. It would take me a while to get back to the kind of faith that I'm currently at. I would probably lose faith for a bit, man. I would question things and I would be mad and angry. I'm just being honest. Why can't you just be honest, Erika?
She had her friends next to her, but she stood with composure and divine power of patience. And it's so, when you...
Patience. So she points out patience, but she wants to rush. She wants there to be no hesitation as to what happened on that day to my husband. And she gets a letter sent to the court and says, I want a speedy trial. That's not patience. That's not patience, young lady. That's a rush. You're rushing it. Take your own advice.
Trust in the Lord. You have no idea what you can bear until you're tried. And
only you know what that's like. And so you have to get up there and tell us. And we don't know, so we need to listen to you.
In those moments, you just know that his grace is sufficient because you can feel it. You can deeply feel it. And the part where you're standing against the wickedness of the devil.
You guys, she's able to say all this because she's put on the full armor of God. Remember when Jesse Waters asked her about how she can, like, how does she understand that Charlie was murdered, even though he was wearing, St. Michael's necklace and the cross? And then she says, well, that's it's like literally the spiritual armor of God. And then that's why she wears the rings and the necklace and the bracelets. Spiritual armor is a metaphor for the spiritual armor we put on, not all of this physical jewelry you are wearing. But so she's got the full armor of God on today, guys. I mean, she's got it all on. I mean, maybe that's how she's up there doing what she's doing without thinking about it.
It's really interesting because it's in Ephesians 6, and what I find so fascinating, I was always obsessed with Ephesians 5 because it talks about marriage. And it's really interesting that Ephesians 5 talks about the proper order of marriage, love. And then Ephesians 6 prepares you for the warfare.
Hey, I just noticed something. If I go back, but I don't really want to go back, at the top, because you'll see it at another point in the video when it spans out, but up at the top behind her. Oh my God, you guys were looking at me because I did that. Man, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. But at the top, up above her in the back, it says TPUSA Faith. But she's not the CEO of TPUSA Faith. Nope. She's the CEO of TPUSA. But she's speaking as the CEO of TPUSA at a TPUSA Faith event. It just shows to me the muddiness of the waters in between all these different affiliates and their what they do and they don't do, what they should do and should not do, but they do it all.
So if you have an Ephesians 5 marriage, you better read Ephesians 6. Because the Lord's going to use your marriage in ways that will blow your mind. And what stuck out to me, what's so powerful about Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 18, is that Paul was very intentional about using the word stand twice. The first time you stand is your choice because you decided to put on the full armor of God. You did. As feeble of an attempt that it was, you put it on.
I mean, should we ask her if she put on physical jewelry as the full armor of God, or was this the actual spiritual armor that it talks about in Scripture?
But then, in verse 14, after you're standing your ground, it says, stand firm then. And he's emphasizing the perseverance, but he's also emphasizing that you have to know that your strength can only take you so far. My grandma used to say, your running legs can only take you so far. Jesus does the rest.
Is that her Jewish grandmother or her Catholic grandmother? I wish she would specify, because I doubt her Jewish grandmother would be saying anything about Jesus taking her any further than her legs couldn't take her. Yep, Rothstein. That's her family lineage, Jewish mob.
But when you stand firm, that's not you, that's God's strength. You stood the first time, ready for battle, bracing yourself. God says, just stand firm. And I'll never forget getting off of Air Force 2. And I looked at Usha and I said, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. And I know that I've shared this story before, but I want to share it with you again, because if any of you guys are going through a really hard time in your life, it was the most practical response that anyone could give. And I loved it. And she said, you know, when you're on an airplane, flying with your kids, and there's 15 minutes left on this plane ride, and your kids are losing their mind. I mean, toys are flying everywhere.
All right, this talking point is ridiculous, and she has to spout it again. We're going to skip past this, but I'm going to show you guys something. Let me make sure I don't skip past the next part. Let me find my last timestamp. So 12:56. Or wait, it's going to be 12. Let's see.
Next 15 minutes, and then the next. And to me, when I stood watching my husband's casket get taken off that plane, she held my hand. I had one of our other family friends with us. And we just stood.
Oh, did you now? So when she says family friend, would you know who she's talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Stacey Sheridan. Let's take a look-see. Let's take a look-see here. All right. It's off to the right. I tried to get it in the middle, but then when I click on the image, it makes it small. It won't let me enlarge it. Over here to the right, Stacey Sheridan filming the whole thing. No family. No family friend. Just old Stacey Sheridan. The one and only. The one that Candace said from the moment I met her, that lady doesn't have a good, honest bone in her body. That lady's not good. Evil. In Candace's, in my opinion, I might agree. I do agree, actually. But it's my opinion. I'm not stating it as a fact. I don't know her. But what I do know of her, I don't like. She's the one that was with Erika, along with the priest, after the memorial, that literally targeted this wealthy Catholic lady. And the priest ran point, texting her, hey, you should come to mass tomorrow morning. You know who might be here? The widow, the sad, grieving widow, Erika Kirk. You might even get to meet her. Wink, wink, wink. And then who comes and knocks on her shoulder, taps on her shoulder when she's sitting in the pews quietly? Stacey Sheridan. Stacey Sheridan. Hey, you want to come? You want to come have some FaceTime with the widow, Erika Kirk? Oh, yeah. Yes, I would. And then that's when they approach her for donating money and extracting wealth from them, from her and her family. All right. And I'll show you this too, just so you know that Usha was there. I mean, we all know that she was there, but there's Usha and JD right there walking off. And then when they get down to the bottom, that's where Stacey Sheridan is greeting her. That's the family friend she's talking about.
And you just do it. You just do it. And you stand. And I say all this because the way that God has carried me is the way that he wants to carry you through your trial, through your life. My cross is mine to carry. You have your own. It's your own cross to bear. One is not better or worse than the other. It's just different. Life is different for all of us, but what we profoundly share in common is that we are all operating within one of the, it's just our world is so broken. Our world is so evil. Our world is so dark, and we're all touched by confusion. We're all touched by disappointment. We're all touched by loss. And we all suffer in different ways that are personal.
Yeah, it seems like we're all suffering in a very similar way, but that you and everyone at TPUSA are not grieving and suffering in the same way we are in relation to grieving your husband. And the confusion that you speak about, a good majority of that confusion is coming out of you and those at TPUSA with BS alibis, using your mother as an alibi. Oh, Candace said that didn't happen. You were with, what was her name? I wrote it down. Tracy Martin. Okay. And you've known that lady for 15 years. And then she played a video tonight. I'm not going to play it, but you can go over and watch that part. It's the later half of her episode from today. And she gives Erika a glowing review. And that the only way a 17-year-old could start a nonprofit is if God did it through her. No, it could be if it was a government ran operation and her mom and her mom's connections and all the government ran pastor, mocking pastor individuals like Greg Laurie were also part of it. So yeah, Tracy, We don't buy you. You can sit down.
But what I want to remind you of is that, yeah, this world, like, you might feel as if it is going to break you, but Jesus already broke himself for us. And I am here to tell you, thank you. Thank you. I keep thinking like I'm eventually going to stop crying, and I still have more.
Okay, it doesn't even look like you're crying. It looks like you're sweating. It's all gathering underneath your nose on your upper lip. I don't know about y'all. That's not where my tears come from. She was wiping right here. Tears come from up here. And furthermore, we weren't wondering when you're going to stop crying. We've been wondering when you're going to start grieving at all. All of those appearances where you were like nonstop, but we couldn't actually see any tear production coming out. No tears running down your face. And none of your makeup was running or anything like that. And what's the worst that could happen? You can let it run a little bit, but you're just like, No, we're not wondering when you're going to stop crying. But I mean, you needed to say that so that you could put that in. And are all these people that gullible? Are all these people in the audience really that gullible that every time she says something, they're like, I don't know. I think that they must be holding up a sign. I have trouble believing that many Christians are that gullible. Sorry. That's just me.
Here's.
Oh my God. Do you guys see what's scrolling at the bottom? Can you guys see that? Get involved in the movement. Get Charlie's last book. And see there, it says TPUSA Faith. They can't pass up an opportunity to plug that book. The book that Candace said, Charlie told Megan in July. I am currently writing a book about the Sabbath. He did not say, I am done writing my book. I'm about to be done writing my book. I'm almost finished writing my book about the Sabbath. No. He said, I am currently writing a book about the Sabbath. And then he dies, and all of a sudden, the book is finished. Just in time for you to go on your little tour, plug that book, probably finish, I don't know how many closing chapters to end the book how you want, to finish up what you want it to really be about. Because, yeah, it's about how you start. But if you only got halfway, if Charlie only got halfway and someone else came in and finished the latter half of the book, it could pervert the whole thing. They could change everything he was building up in the beginning and the middle of that book and then just tear it down and take it a totally different direction. And it came out just in time for you to go on your tour, the tour that you went out, and then you started attacking Candace, and then you went on the Barry Weiss interview. It was like perfect timing. Like, whoa, what a coincidence. I think not.
This world will not break you. It won't. And even if you have to look in the mirror.
Okay. I count a ton of jewelry. We got like 10 bracelets, 10 over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings, necklace. I'm just saying, man, I think that's why she's brave, you guys. She's got on so much spiritual armor of God, she could take us all out.
And say it out loud. Say, you won't break me.
Why?
Declare it.
Why?
Because they won't. This world will not break you.
Yeah, we know
you
that.
You will not be shaken because you are covered by the blood of Jesus.
Okay. Let me see the timestamp because I wrote something down and I'm having to go back and forth to make sure I don't miss any of the things. Because when I was watching this live and I was like saying stuff and writing stuff down, I need to make sure 1445. Let's see. 14. I don't know. Okay. I didn't write it down, but it's still in my brain. And it is this. I don't think she's actually Christian. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't think she can do everything she's done and actually be Christian. I don't know. I know I'm not the judge. Hey, but we are called to judge one another by their fruit. Okay. We are. I know that people that aren't saved don't like to know that. Yeah. But I mean, even saved people don't like to say that. Yeah, we are. We are supposed to determine whether or not someone's truly saved by their fruit. You will know them by their fruit, and you should bear fruit. You should bear fruit. It should be a production of your faith. It should be seen by others. I should be able to see by how you live, treat other people, how you act, what you do, if you are or are not saved, if Christ lives in you or he doesn't. It should be evident. It shouldn't be hard. But yet she gets up here and says these like little token phrases that she knows we know. She wants to hijack our faith, use our knowledge of scripture against us to emotionally manipulate us and hijack our faith because she's covered by the blood of Jesus. No. Not today. I don't think you're covered by the blood of Jesus. When you're up there doing what you're doing, yes, the blood of Jesus covers everything and everyone for all time and everything. It is finished. He can do everything and it is already done. But you know what? She's using it to say that like he's co-signing what she's doing. And that I just don't get on. I don't get behind that, man. I don't think he's co-signing this. I don't think Charlie's up there with Jesus working for TPUSA. You're trying to say Jesus and God, they're all co-signing, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity and Charlie. They've co-signed it all. It's all covered. That's what's bothering me. I mean, everybody clap. Don't get it. Don't get it.
They will try to hurt you. Man will try to hurt you. They'll accuse you. They'll slander you. They'll murder you. But they will never touch your soul.
Like, that's a weird statement. That's just a weird statement. That's not even like a Christian statement. You know? I don't know. That's just me.
Never. And after AmFest, were any of you guys at AmFest, America Fest in Phoenix? Yeah.
Had to plug it. So there's the smile, ladies and gentlemen. She says AmFest. She says Memorial. She thinks biggest event. I've surpassed Charlie. Charlie couldn't even put on the event that I put on at his memorial. I did better than Charlie. And AmFest had over 25,000 people, and they raised more money than ever before. Largest event in their history. Guess who did it? Erika. Look at that smile. She's proud of herself, and she wants you to know it.
It was amazing.
It was.
I had a family friend.
Wait, was it amazing when they put his mic in a glass box on display? Was it amazing when people were taking pictures underneath the canopy in which he was assassinated? That was amazing too. Okay, just making sure you're being consistent. I mean,
she was very sweet. She was like, just explaining to her, which I didn't need to explain because it's very well known.
She said her family friend again, Stacy Sheridan. That's who she's talking about in this story.
Just saying how fascinating it is to operate in a world that does not understand you at all. And she said, after AmFest, because Charlie and I both operate in a way where our word is our bond.
Really? Your word is your bond. This video's long enough, and it's going to take our time. And it's only 28 minutes, but with my commentary, it'll be a bit longer. But I don't want it to add to the length of it and exhaust y'all. Tell me this. Is her word her bond? Did she promise not all the employees on that 5th day, that video recording, that Zoom meeting? None of your jobs are in jeopardy. I promise you, none of you have to worry about your jobs. That's her word. She gave her word. She promised. And now, mass firing? Over 40 people were fired and let go with no cause, with no explanation. Get out of here. 80-hour weeks, 20-hour days, 3 weeks straight. Didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't go home. Pulled off AmFest, helped pull off the memorial. And then she fired them after she promised them all. Your jobs are safe here with me. Don't worry. And remember, she cried. She cried about it. She wanted you to believe it. Boy, did she want you to believe it. So this woman can cry about something she knows she's lying about. What is going on? That means to me, all the other tears are now suspect, not genuine. You can cry about that and pretend that they're real and then turn around and do the complete opposite. I'm going to say past behavior is the best predictor for future behavior, Erika.
So I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled his media tour obligations for his Stop in the Name of God book that just came out.
Okay, so they're plugging it at the bottom. Okay. Stop in the Name of God book by supporting TPUSA Today. She wants money. Wow, that's interesting. So the event says TPUSA Faith, but the bottom just says TPUSA. To me, that's a conflict because one's a 501c3 and one's not. One's a Christian organization and the other one's not. You're the CEO of one and you're not the CEO of the other. Yeah. And so, yeah, these are the things that make us go like, what the frick is going on here? It looks like a bunch of shell companies going on. They're just like shuffling money around, give to here, give to there. I'm going to do this in this name, but I'm actually a CEO of another company. It says TPUSA Faith, but down at the bottom, it says TPUSA. Which one is it? Make up your mind. We don't know what we're doing. And I don't even know if people know what they're giving money to when they donate. Is it going to Faith, TPUSA Faith? Is it going to TPUSA? And she couldn't wait to plug the book. It's already being plugged at the bottom. You didn't have to plug it orally too. You didn't have to say it in your speech, but it's important. She wanted you to know that she's continuing with all the commitments of Charlie, except for the ones that matter. She's not going to speak about Israel. She's not going to speak about Gaza. She's not going to leave the pro-Israel cause. She's not going to turn down the $150 million from Bibi Netanyahu. She's not going to say to the Foreign Ministry of Affairs for Israel, no, show faith by works. You will not collect data on all my followers, supporters, donors. No. What about the Clock Tower X? No, you will not send propaganda to the people that donate to us, that follow us, that work for us. No. But she will do everything else and then say, Charlie co-signed it, and she's doing it in the name of Charlie. No, not happening. We're not that dumb. Maybe some of the people in the audience. Hopefully they're not. I don't know, but they're clapping.
And it's an amazing book. It's life-changing.
And based on what Candace said today, it was finished by you or a ghostwriter. I don't know, but it wasn't finished by Charlie. He told Megan he was still writing it in July.
And so I finished.
It has to go through post editing and production and then, has to be published. You had that ready to go. That means he didn't finish anything. You did.
I finished that. There was other things that he had on his schedule that I wanted to honor for him and finish for him. It was just the right thing to do.
I mean, I don't know if that's what she means, but she is saying she finished that for him. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if that's what she's actually meaning to say, but that's what she said. She finished it for him and she's going to finish other things as well.
And she said, I think that after AmFest, you should probably take some time to just tuck away from the exposure of this world and just,
that's right. I'm gonna pull that up.
Enjoy the holidays. I was like, that is a great idea. That is what I'm going to do. Absolutely. And
all right.
I thought,
I really hope this doesn't mess up. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Freeze. My bad. Give me a second. I didn't mean to do that. Please forgive me. That will be the only technical difficulty tonight, as long as it allows me to show you. So she's talking about Stacey Sheridan telling her that, and this is what's crazy too. You weren't going to grieve initially and take time for you and your family immediately following the assassination of your husband. You got right to work and grinded it out and made all that money because you weren't going to pass up an opportunity to do that. You weren't going to let an interim person get in there and make all that money. The board wasn't going to pick someone that was going to burn it down. You said multiple times before, women, your career will be there waiting for you. Being a mother at home, raising your kids when they're little won't. It comes once and it goes fast. Don't miss up on it. You and Charlie said that together and prescribed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of young families, Christian families, to do the same thing. And then the moment he's gone, You do the opposite. Okay. Her schedule, Stacey Sheridan tells her that, hey, in December, after you do all this and you make all that money at AmFest and you make all that money at the memorial, after you do all that and get all those hat sales, get all those donors, you should take a vacation. Well, let's take a look. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the live stream. Okay. Please don't mess up the live stream. All right. We're still there. We're still in business here. So this is her schedule for January, but her schedule for December is jam-packed. December 3rd, New York Times Deal Book Summit. She spoke and appeared at the 2025 Deal Book Summit. December 8th, 2025, Fox News, Hannity, New York City. December 9th, Fox News, The Five. December 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk Today episode, TBN. December 10th, 2025, CBS Town Hall tapings, New York City. And remember, so all of these that are in different locations, she's paying $50,000 one way to fly to these different places. We can add it up. That's over $500,000 in just those, I don't know, these dates. December 10th, New York City, TBN, CBS Town Hall taping, New York City. Okay, that's in, or wait, the TBN's not in New York. It doesn't say where that is, but the Town Hall's in New York. Next, December 13th, CBS Prime Town Hall airs. And then so that's when it airs. It was filmed on the 10th. Yeah, it wasn't live, guys. Pre-recorded. Totally. Directed. It wasn't natural. It wasn't genuine. December 18th through the 21st, TPUSA AmFest Phoenix, 18th, 19th, and the 21st. That's where she was. And December 30th, Post America Fest Public Response, Instagram. I mean, she could have done that, but she also did a TV hit. All right, so now let's go down to January. And in January 16th, court filing. Okay, some of these, they're not actual physical things that she goes to, but this is her schedule, right? The 16th, the 21st, the 22nd, 24th of January, 25th, and 28th. Okay. I mean, she didn't really take a break at all. So she didn't even take the advice of Stacey Sheridan, but she just wanted y'all to know that Stacey Sheridan told her to, I guess. I guess that was the whole point of that.
Very important. Something so freeing to being able to just disconnect from the noise of this world and refocus your family and your.
Oh, sorry if I spoke over that or you weren't hearing that before. She's talking about the Sabbath. She's still plugging the book. Okay. You'll hear. Just give it a second.
On the Lord. And I thought to myself, yeah, we're going to honor the Sabbath. We're going to just take some time. I'm going to be with my babies. Maybe people will go out and touch grass.
Okay. I don't know about you. And then she laughs about it. And then people in the crowd laugh about that comment. Okay. I didn't call my children babies like forever. Okay. She'll say children or kids once, and I've never heard her say it more than once. Every time she talks about her 3-year-old and her 1.5-year-old, she calls them babies, plural. I don't know if that means anything specifically, but I just find it interesting. She doesn't say my kids, my children. She just always calls them my babies. And in my opinion, she wants us to think of her as a parent, as a mother of young little babies. The toddler isn't. 3-year-old, okay, 1.5 is somewhat infant. But everything she says and does, and then the whole touch grass, she wants to be approachable. She wants us to relate with her. She wants us to, open up our hearts and our minds and just let our guard down. Yeah, it's not working with me. I don't know about you guys. It's just not working with me.
Let's start there. Okay. And anyways, so as this world is trying to figure me out, being thrusted into all of this, people ask, or they'll tell me, why don't you do this? And why don't you say that? And, some still.
We are definitely trying to figure you out and everything you've said and done since your husband was assassinated. Yeah. And it's not that anyone's trying to tell you what to do or what to say. We're asking you, what is going on? What are you saying? What are you doing? And why? And why aren't you at home taking care of your kids? Why are you the CEO? Why are you lying to Candace? Why are you bad-mouthing her on the Barry Weiss? Why did you do the live sit down with her in Tennessee? You flew out there when your publicity was so bad and then you lied to her. Why did you give a fake alibi and take pictures of kids that aren't yours or use someone else's photos of a 5 and a 7-year-old, put your thumb over the photo, and then use that as your alibi? Why haven't you denied that you were not or were at Fort Huachuca on the 8th at the Candle Inn Suites? Why did you give an alibi for the 9th when no one said you were there on the 9th? Why are you giving a false alibi for the day of the assassination that you were with your mom? You weren't. You were with Tracy Martin or Morton. My writing is a little muddled. I forget which one. It's Morton or Martin. Candace said you were unaccounted for. We don't know where you were. And you're saying you're with your mom and that you broke down and all these things. It seems to all be a lie. Where you were on the 8th seems to be a lie. Can't be accounted for then either. Yeah. So we are looking at your behavior and we are saying it doesn't add up and we are asking questions. Sue me. No, don't sue me.
Have asked, like, have you seen the video? Why would I ever see that video?
So that you could know, or at least so that you can attempt to know what actually happened to your husband. Okay. And I was thinking about this. Yeah, it would be freaking hard, man. It would be hard to watch a video of how my wife was murdered. I mean, it would be very hard. But I would tell you, I would probably do it to know what the frick happened and who the frick did it and why they're telling me this kid did it and they're so sure. But everyone else that's seen that video is going, that doesn't look like a 30-06 shot him in the neck. Wait, why is his shirt moving? Wait, we hear something and then the shirt moves and the shirt moves a lot. And then we see a wound, but also the road mic separates and moves across. And then a black piece of projectile gets lodged in his neck. Wait a minute, but the bullet doesn't go through. His neck stops it? Wait, how does that happen? It's a 30-06, y'all. Oh, he ate spinach. Okay. No, it was a miracle. Hijack your faith again. Appeal to your belief in miracles. And yeah, I believe in miracles, but I don't believe this was one. I believe this was something else, nefarious. And why didn't the blood start spurting out right away? Why was there a delay? Was there something in the way? Was there some sort of blockage in the wound that once enough blood pressure got pushed up against the back of it, then it finally came out? But what led the way as the blood was coming out? Wait, a black piece of plastic that has a straight edge to it, a right angle, which doesn't appear naturally in nature? So that must have been a man-made piece of material? Huh. I don't understand. Wait, what about the decorticate posturing? What? I mean, that happens when you're electrocuted? Oh, or you have deep brain injury, but he was shot here. How did the bullet get way up in the base of the skull down there? Oh, it hit his C2? It went up and then had enough energy to go down? Wait, tell me what is going on? Yeah, so if I were you, and this is what they were trying to tell me happened to my wife, and I have a brain, I would be like, what the heck, dude? Can I see it? All right, you could blur out the part that's bloody. Maybe I can watch that later. And no, and then she tries to say like, and my kids never need to see it. Well, no, duh, dude. Your 1 and 3-year-old don't ever need to see that. Okay. When they're adults, they can make up their own mind on whether or not to see it. You're an adult. Your husband was assassinated. You should do everything in your power with the millions of dollars and the ability you have. You should do everything to mount your own investigation to find out what happened to him that day. No, don't worry. We'll do it. We'll take over. Goodness. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic.
I don't need to see that. I never want to see it. I will make sure that my kids don't ever see it. Never will see that video. I don't need to see it. I kissed him goodbye. I do not need to see that video.
Nope. Whoa. There's another lie. No, you didn't. You said in your Jesse Waters interview and multiple other ones, you didn't kiss him goodbye. Remember, he slept in the other room. He came in and got his necklace and he walked out and said goodbye and you did not kiss him. Which one is it, Erika? You kissed him, you didn't kiss him. Do you have amnesia? Do you know where you are? Blink if you're with us. Is that you in there? I don't know, man. I really don't know.
But you always get everyone saying, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Mhm.
And I respond, like, with all due respect, like, why do I have to? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to operate by what I'm expected to do?
Because it's what you're expected to do as a surviving spouse of your husband who was assassinated. And it's not like we're expecting you to do the weird and crazy things you're doing. No, 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 no. You should tell Stacy and Tyler and all those people that are putting you up and saying, yes, you should do it. And they're clapping and being your biggest cheerleaders. Like, look at her go. She's the best CEO ever. Oh my God, she was born for this. You should look at them and be like, why am I doing what you want me to do? We want you to find out what happened to your husband, and we want you to go home and take care of your kids like you said you should. That's what we want. Maybe you should start listening to us. What we think you should do is what's best for you. It is what Charlie would want for you to do. And what you're doing following Stacey Sheridan and all those people, it's not. And it's, in fact, it's the very thing he said no to.
Expected to respond to, expected to, because every single thing that I do, every decision that I make, when you kiss your loved one like that, your whole perspective on this world.
Okay, so she's not talking about kissing him the morning. We already know that's a lie. She's talking about kissing him in the casket, dead. No one said you had to do that, number one. And if you were going to do it, nobody said you should film it. You want to now use this moment and garner sympathy that, like, once you kiss your dead partner, it changes you, no doubt. Why would you film it? Why would you allow Stacey Sheridan to stand behind you and possibly even mic you up? Because someone did point out they could hear you breathe into a mic. The phone's behind you. How are we picking up your breath if she's back there? Why would you film that at all? That's bizarre and morbid and disgusting. And honestly, not something a true grieving person would do. It would never cross my mind, even if I was a public figure, to be in that moment, if that moment were real and I had nothing to do with it, to say, yeah, film me. This is great PR. You can't miss an opportunity for that. People will donate. People will donate and they'll get behind me as CEO when we announce it in a couple days.
Changes completely. I operate very clearly.
No, you don't.
Whatever decision is in front of me, it will go through a very strict lens. Is this going to bring me closer to heaven, or is it going to bring me further away from heaven?
Well, let's figure that out. Okay, shall we? Let's evaluate a few things. Not doing what your husband asked you to do. Forsaking your responsibilities of your children as they are very young and still need their mother, especially now that they've lost their father. And instead, taking on the CEO role, responsibility within 72 hours, being gone 300 days a year, and getting people to donate a ridiculous amount of money to you, and you using it to enrich yourself, even though it's a 501c3, for you to endorse JD Vance, for you to be with Stacey Sheridan and extract money from someone that's a good Catholic, and you hijacked her empathy and compassion and targeted her? Yeah. Okay. Those things that you're doing, all the potential fraud that your mom and Superfeed with Jake Hoffman, Terrell Farnsworth, Tyler Boyer are doing, endorsing. I mean, all the things, man, that you're doing. Yeah, I would say those things are definitely getting you farther away from heaven. They're dishonest. They're corrupt. They're not Christian. How can you sit up there and say that everything you do and say, you put it through the lens first? Does this get me closer or further away from heaven? Lies, because you're freaking headstrong in the other direction, man. So you're not thinking about that at all.
If it is going to bring me further away from heaven, step aside, Satan. I do not want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. I do not want to be around anything that is going to take me further away from my home in heaven. I don't. That's where my heart is. And so as long as I remain obedient to God and abide in his word, and I'm in the jet stream of his will, the opinions of this world mean nothing to me. Nothing.
You know, yeah, in some sense, the opinions of the world. What about the opinions of the church, of the people that make up what is the bride of Christ? What about all the other Christians in the world that have wives, have husbands, have lost a wife, have lost a husband? And we're looking at you. We're looking at what you're doing, what you've done, what you're saying, and we're thinking this is not genuine and it's not honest. And this is evil. You should care because it's our responsibility as believers to hold one another accountable, to rebuke one another, to guide each other back, to prompt someone to repent. So yeah, you should care a little bit. Yeah, for sure. About the ones that matter, the fellow Christians, not the world, right? But us. And we're the ones that are having the opinions.
And it's not ignorance, it's intentionality. Some people think, oh, you're just being ignorant. No, it's intentionality. It's intentionality with my time and my heart. But what's so fascinating, and as Christians, we know this to be true, there is a curiosity driving force in our culture today that has been completely amplified. And it's fascinating to witness this at real time because you have portions of this world that are saying, look at this, look this direction. Do you like what you see? You can keep going further. You can keep.
So she's saying this in very opaque, vague ways, but she is for sure talking about our curiosity into her and her life and her actions post, well, even pre-Charlie Kirk's assassination, but post as well. And she's saying curiosity is bad. I mean, no, it's not. Not when we're curious about something that means a lot to us and means a lot to a lot of Christians in the United States, and that so much is at stake within this. And you would have us cast aside our curiosity to find out if you're a crook, like Nixon said. Who's a crook? Your president's not a crook. All right. Well, it seems that you and everyone at TPUSA are, and we want to know, how bad is it and how wide does this go?
Keep going down this further. Then you have other people that look at this, sensationalize this, look at this. You see it now? So everything is vying for your attention. Everything. Every single thing. And it's literally just goes back to the garden of Adam and Eve. God says, you have the Garden of Eden. Do not eat the fruit from this tree. You have everything else.
Do not ask questions. Do not inquire as to me and what I'm doing. Do not look into my husband's assassination. Run full steam ahead and charge and convict and put to death Tyler Robinson. That's what she's saying.
And then they're like, why not this tree? Fixation on focus on what you can't have when you have all of this. And that is our day and age right now. There's this kind of curiosity that is so innocent and God-given, which is precious. And that's the type where you're searching for more beautiful things and the eternal things, and you're learning and you're pouring into your family and you're.
What about justice? What about searching for justice for Charlie? What about accountability for all the corrupt individuals running this organization in this country? What about that? That's not good? That kind of curiosity isn't good? Okay.
operating on a different level. But then there's also this curiosity that just pulls you away from what matters most.
And you're the one to tell us what matters most. And it's not finding out how many people are part of this, whether or not you're part of it, why it seems like you're not grieving his death and his assassination, why you're not looking into who really killed your husband. Okay.
And I am seeing it on full display. It invites you to distraction. It feeds your fears. It makes you half of a person. It makes you even question your faith. It puts you in a position where you're reacting, feeling like you have to respond when you actually don't have to respond. And quite honestly, we live in a culture that is just endlessly curious about things that don't matter. I mean, for example, I had a Washington Post article come out about my clothes that I wear. Like, very slow news day out there. Like, if you are now attacking a widow's attire.
Oh, how often have you heard any other widow refer to themselves as a widow? In the sense that now you're attacking me, a widow. She wants our sympathy. She wants us to back off. Yeah, no. So people have looked at the attire that you've worn at different events because you claim to be this trad Christian wife, that if we looked at the way you dressed when Charlie was alive, it was very modest and conservative for the most part. Okay. But then after his death, it's like you were reborn. It was like the Erika Kirk that was being shoved deep down finally got to come out. And yeah, people are looking at everything you're doing because A, you're CEO of a major organization that holds amazing, enormous weight and power and control in the future and currently in our political system and in our country. You're not above reproach. You're a public figure. Okay. You're looking to sway millions of people one direction or the other. And because the way you tell people they should live and the way you're living don't match up. And yeah, the way you dress is actually a reflection of who you are. It talks about that in scripture about women being modest. Okay. And yeah, now that you've gotten backlash as to certain choices of attire in previous TV appearances, today's the first day we see you, besides in that Zoom meeting phone call where you look like they told you, don't put on makeup, don't put on your extensions. Come in, you have to look tired. You have to look sad. We're on day 5. Don't let them see you. You have to pretend that this is actually tragic for you. That's the only time we actually saw you, aside from today. Now you're wearing a athletic jumpsuit and sneakers so that you can bring this up and say how crazy it is for them to talk about your attire because you're a sneakerhead. Okay, first time ever you've been wearing this.
Like, that's where we're at. Like, if you would like to know, Washington Post, I'm wearing a black outfit with a pair of, Air Forces because I'm a sneakerhead. So if you would like to know what I'm wearing, you can call me and I'd be happy to explain that I just wear what I wear because it's comfortable.
Wait. Tell me this. You would be happy to answer a phone call to New York Post or New York Times, whatever one you said, about your attire, but you will not pick up the phone and talk to Candace. You won't get back to her about her questions about your alibis. You won't respond to her directly. You're going to go through Andrew Colvett. You're going to go through third party, Justin Strife. You'll talk to the media about your shoes and your clothes, but you won't talk to Candace about where you were, what you've been doing, and what happened to Charlie. Yeah. Yep. That's why we think this is weird. That's just one more data point for us to be like, things aren't right. Yes, Erika, you are suspicious.
I don't have a stylist. Like, I don't really care. I just am.
Okay. And I know that's BS. Like, her PR team and her company, you got a stylist. Nice try. They all do. It's standard procedure, dude. You make millions of dollars. Your company brings in now millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. Don't start.
Myself. Again, go touch grass.
There it is again.
I don't know how else to say, go walk in.
She's got to be relatable, guys. They told her you got to fit that in at least twice. It'll hit great. The audience will eat it up.
Nature. Charlie loved to hike, like maybe take up hiking as a hobby. Just throw that out.
How about you stop telling us what we need to do? Maybe you need to worry about what you need to do. Maybe you start by going home and taking care of your kids. We're worried. We don't know where they are and who has been taking care of them. Okay? That's what you should do.
There, but I say that because curiosity can totally derail us as Christians. Completely. And it doesn't allow the Lord to use your life in a way that glorifies him.
Don't be curious.
And so just keep that in mind when you're reading things
about her
and you're internalizing things
about her.
And if you try to chase down every single ridiculous accusation about yourself.
No, about you. We don't get things written about ourselves. You're giving us a prescription of how to live, how to be, and then you make a statement that it doesn't relate to any of us. We don't get anything written about us because we're not public figures, Erika. So you're clearly talking about yourself here. And if I were you, I'd care a little bit about what some people are saying and doing because we're getting close. We're getting awfully close.
You'll get nothing done. Charlie knew that. If Charlie spent his time responding to everything when anyone called him a racist when he wasn't, if anyone tried to say what he's doing on campus didn't matter, actually it did, and it does, and it still does, he wouldn't have been able to build Turning Point. He wouldn't have been able to go and preach the gospel. And so I just want to remind you that don't be pulled away from the presence of God. Use your curiosity to seek him further. Not the world. Not the world. And just have a spirit of knowing that I would much rather confuse this world and not make any sense to it than be a reflection of it. And that's how I want all of you guys to feel as well.
All right. However, right now, you as a CEO, the way you're living, the life you're living, your home, your clothes, your plane trips, the 50,000 one way, the things you focus on in your meetings, the things you choose. Did it go out? Oh, I don't know what happened on my feed. Hopefully, is everything good in the chat? All right. Everything that you're doing actually seems to be of the world. You seem to look a lot like the politicians that are corrupt and that have all these nonprofits and that are funneling money around. You seem to be enriching yourself from a nonprofit, which is not for self-enrichment. You seem to care about numbers, growth, size, merch, money. That to me is a reflection of this world. So don't tell me you're not doing that.
But again, I just want to encourage you. Charlie would always say this, and it rings true to me now more so than ever, that every decision you make is a mark on your soul. Forever. And people will always...
Yeah, I would say your soul's getting marked up, Erika. I would say every decision you've made since he's been assassinated, and possibly in the weeks and days leading up to his assassination, you made some pretty key decisions that possibly have severely tarnished your soul. Yeah, I would say so.
Say stuff, it's just noise. Remember, it's just noise. It's just noise.
It's just noise, guys. She doesn't pay attention.
When you feel things start heating up in your life, it's very tempting to ask the wrong question. Why is this happening to me? Very tempting. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Instead, I pray that you ask the question, Lord, what do you have for me today? Just today. Not about yesterday, not about tomorrow, but just today. What do you have for me today? Not why is this happening to me? You have to shift your perspective and your mindset.
A good place to start, Erika, today, you can start looking into anything other than Tyler Robinson as to who killed your husband at all. You can start by saying, you know what, this really isn't what I should be doing. I should be home with my kids. I should be grieving with them because it's still not even been 6 months. Yeah, you can start today by doing everything you're not doing every day that you stay a CEO.
Because God doesn't have to explain anything to you. One day you'll know everything. It's like Charlie. But he does assign things to you. And I have an assignment. You all have an assignment. And Charlie would always tell me, if anything ever happened to him, to make sure that I would step in and run Turning Point. And I took that very seriously.
Nope. Didn't happen. Candace has spoken to 2 donors at the Aspen event. They both said that didn't happen. And there is audio and video from that event. Why haven't you released it? Prove it. Prove he said that. He didn't. You can't. You won't. You keep saying that. You keep putting words in a dead man's mouth, saying he said something he didn't say. He wouldn't have said that. He knew the kind of pressure. The text message that Candace spoke about tonight that you lied about, Dan Flood confirmed it was an iMessage. You lied. I got the list here. Let's go over all the things you lied about. Superman neck. You're the one that entered that into the record, not Andrew Colvett, and not the surgeon. Okay. Charlie Kirk did not text anyone on the September 9th. Yeah, he did. He texted Frank Turek. He texted Dan Flood and Andrew Colvett and said they're going to kill me. Okay. You said that he wasn't in fear for his life. He was. Okay. And yeah, you said that it wasn't, that it was on a WhatsApp, it was on one of those apps. No, it was an iMessage. You said that Mikey called you right away within seconds. Nope. He actually called his wife, was on the call for 3 minutes, and then 3-wayed you. And then he called his dad. Okay. Erika did not know that Andrew Colvett's wife was with him on the plane when you waited for an hour for him to arrive instead of going to the hospital to see your assassinated husband. Okay. And then Andrew collapsed in your arms, and you told Candace you didn't know whether or not that Andrew's wife was with him. Well, she was. Okay. Lied about that. Right. You also lied about the book. Okay. That he told Megan that he was still writing the book, and you said it was finished. And that's just what I wrote down here. You're not telling the truth. Why don't you just do that? Why don't you just answer those questions, Erika? Honestly.
I didn't. It's not a burden. This is not a 9-to-5 for me. This is something that we always talked about. We were not blind to threats. But
I thought there were no threats. I thought that he wasn't afraid for his life.
For me, it's always raise the babies, run Turning Point.
There it is. She keeps just calling them babies, guys. They're just babies. They don't grow. They're forever babies. And run Turning Point. Hey, guess what you said in previous engagements and previous appearances with Charlie? You can't do both. You said it's a myth. Balance is a myth. You cannot, especially not this kind of company, not this kind of organization, not this kind of job. 300 days a year, you're on the road. It's not a 9-to-5. It's a 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day kind of job. You can't do that and raise a 1 and 3-year-old. You just can't. You said it yourself. You said the career will wait for you. Raising your kids won't. Time passes too fast. What are you doing? You're not doing both. So that means you're not raising your kids. Who is? Where are they?
And some people have said, well, you should have put an interim in there.
Yep, you should have.
Really? My husband, during our whole marriage, asked me to do this. His wish.
His dying wish, guys. You can't argue with that. Well, we can't ask him either. Yeah. And there's no actual proof that he said anything. No one can corroborate that except for all of the weirdos saying that he said that, except for people there that have nothing to gain from it or saying that he didn't say that. And now you're saying he said it throughout his whole marriage. even though you both got up on stage time and time again and said, balance is a myth. Young Christian women should be stay at home. Young Christian mothers and wives should stay at home with their kids and raise their kids in the early years of their life, and that their career could come later. It couldn't go in the opposite direction. You can't do your career first and then raise your kids later. It doesn't work like that. Biology doesn't work like that. And you can't do both. Balance is a myth. You said that. Charlie never said ever the whole time you were married, and not even at the end. He was facing death threats. He was afraid for his life. He wouldn't want to put you at risk for death to run a company. He thought about his kids. That's what he thought about.
And I'm going to put an interim in there that could possibly burn the whole thing down. And then I have...
Oh, so you're the only one, Erika. You are the only one besides Charlie that can run this company. Hey, newsflash, the board also is the one that decides. And guaranteed, they're not going to just pick anyone willy-nilly. Yeah, they would vote someone in that is going to bring in the most money and succeed. They're not going to put someone in to burn it down. No, it's too useful of an organization, too powerful. Okay, that's a horrible excuse.
To come in later when I'm ready, which no one's ever ready for anything in life.
You said.
And resurrect the ashes.
You said after the kids are raised. That's when a young mother should do it. When the kids are in high school or in college, go back and do your career after that. You said that.
Absolutely not. I would not be able to live with myself. I would not be able to live with myself knowing that I didn't honor that for Charlie. Again, this is not about a job title. It's so much more than this. It's, again, making heaven crowded.
No, it's not, because you are speaking. I mean, it says TPUSA Faith, but you're the CEO of TPUSA, a political organization that's sole purpose is to educate the public about being active and engaged in their political engagement, political system inside the country of the United States. That's what your job is. Okay. Your job as CEO, which you are, is not to make heaven crowded. Okay. It's just not. You're not a church. That's the church's job. And it's a horrible slogan anyways. Okay. It's a disgusting, distasteful slogan. Okay. It's like it's a freaking rave or something, like, you know, like, no, your job is to lead people to Christ as a Christian, and the church's responsibility is to do that, not you as the CEO of Turning Point USA. But you're conflating the two, and you want us to conflate the two. You want us to look at you like a pastor, and you want us to look at TPUSA as a church. Why? Why do you want to do that?
That's what this is about. And it's about knowing that when God gives you an assignment, and you know this, for those of you who feel that you know and you recognize what your assignment is, he gives you the grace to carry it. It's not a burden anymore. It's not a burden. And he will sustain you in ways that you didn't even know that were possible. And you find a way to put one foot in front of the other. You just do. And God has just been so faithful.
We're almost done, you guys. The last thing I'm going to point out is at 29:14, and it's at 27:25. So we're almost there. Thank you for hanging in. We're almost done.
Full every day. He has. And so the other night, after I put the kids to bed, Charlie,
that's the only time
I encourage all of you to do. He was a huge.
That's the only time she says kids. Every other time I've heard her say it's just babies.
Huge in journaling. If you can journal, please do it. People were like, how do you have time to do that? You just make time. He would carry a journal with him, and it would be something that he'd hear, or something that came across his desk, or something that just came on his heart, and he would just write. And my goodness.
Don't mistake why she's saying this. She's saying this so that she can now say what's coming next, that she has all of the plans, goals, dreams, wishes, ideas. The purpose of Charlie Kirk didn't die with him, and she has it. And so now she has this carte blanche to say that anything she does or says in the future, it was Charlie. Charlie said to do it. He wrote it down. I have his journal. He told me to do it. He wrote about it. It was his wish. It was his dying wish, much like me taking over as CEO. That's why she's saying this, guys.
Am I so grateful to have those, because it's like a living piece of him that is still with me. It's the inner workings of his brain and his heart. He left the blueprint for me in those. And so after I put the kids to bed, it's like my treat, if you will, to just like be like, okay, get to my alone time with him. And so one of the quotes that I was reading the other day that he had in his journal, it was so powerful. And he said, who had a more effective last 100 years? Leftism or Christianity?
And I know, Charlie, it's his major opponent was the left, okay? But them wanting to push this left versus right paradigm from the beginning of his assassination, that these transferees did it, okay? That it was left versus right, good versus evil. I don't buy it anymore. Neither does Candace. Anyone pushing that is trying to manipulate us. They want us to riot. They want us to engage in civil unrest, civil strife, and eventually civil war. They want us to burn each other down so that they can rebuild after the ashes and create a new system, an even worse system that they're in control of today. A bigger system of control, like 1984, a brave new world. That's why she's saying this.
He said, our ends are different. Good societies are very rare, but we fight evil. So after reading that, next morning, I'm in one of the Charlie Kirk show prep chats that we have. Because again, I do not have social media or news on my phone. I just do not have that bandwidth. Everyone else can absorb it for me. Tell me what I need to know, what I need to hear. That's great, but that's where we're at. I will get to that another time and place. Now is not the time or place. And so one of the videos that came in to that chat, awkwardly enough, was a clip of Rachel Maddow and Jimmy Kimmel. I can't even believe I'm saying their names in a church, but together.
All right, that was it. We're past all the good parts. We're done. All right. That's the 2 videos for tonight, guys. Well, I'll read some chats if you guys want to throw some in there. If those of you that weren't here in the beginning, let me look at where we're at, total subscribers now, how the channel is doing currently. And honestly, all the credit goes to you guys. Like I said in the beginning, I would be here talking to myself if it wasn't for all of you guys. We're at 1,477 subscribers currently and rising. I would say the last few days, we were on an epic growth in a matter of days, and then it kind of fizzled out. There wasn't a lot going on in the news. My last video about Tyler Robinson's day in court, it wasn't as exciting and engaging, but I mean, court isn't. But I mean, if anyone could go back and watch some of that, watch part of that, like and share, that'd be great. Hopefully after tonight's 2 videos, we keep moving up. That helps with the algorithm. Oh, also, please always, I know there's been a total of 1,738 views. I was looking at the live. I mean, currently we have 198 viewers, but total views was 1,771 of this video. I don't know about the last one, the previous one about Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett. But please, everyone that comes in, it doesn't cost anything. Just hit the like, hit the subscribe. I don't make ridiculous content. I won't blow your phone up with, messages and shorts. I don't do everything I do. I'm intentful to do it, and I try to do a great job at it. Okay, so yeah, okay. I'll start reading some of the chats. Thank you guys. Great video. Let's see. wait, it's okay. Just noticed the Niners. Wait, let me go back. Just noticed the Niners sweatshirt. You rooting for the Hawks? Um, I mean, I just want to see a good game. I don't really like growing up in Southern California and my grandmother living up in the Bay Area. 49ers were always my favorite team. You know, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young. Loved the Niners. That was their dynasty. You know, I was born in 85. I got to see that, you know, as a young kid who played football growing up. And so in my heart, I still love the Niners. But I don't really watch sports except for major events. I'll watch the Super Bowl. I love watching hockey playoffs and hockey Stanley Cup, the finals, and the actual Stanley Cup. But I don't spend a lot of time and energy watching sports throughout the year. I'm extremely busy with, you know, I train jujitsu a lot. That's like my passion and what I love. I've been doing that since 2018. I'm a 4-stripe purple belt, which means I just have brown and then I'm at black. And then there's a whole nother, you know, journey after black. There's way more that continue after that. And then I have kids and I have my wife and my full-time job. So I don't really get into sports like that, but I'll watch like major events. I'm not rooting for anyone in particular, but I'd like to see a good event. I'd like to see a good game that's not rigged. Okay, that's what I'd like to see. Let's see. Whitney Webb was on a podcast today and revealed that, yeah, Jeffrey Einstein, had another side business where he gathered beautiful women and trained them. Yep, and yeah, wives for important, powerful men. No doubt. One Nation Under Blackmail. Read everything, watch everything Whitney Webb has done. She focuses a lot more on his like financial crimes and his ties to gun running and, you know, arms dealing and stuff like that. She's an amazing investigative author and does amazing work. I listen to her and watch her all the time. Every time I watch and listen to her, I come out and go like, wow, she knows what she's doing and talking about. I saw snippets. She talked about the trial and how she wants for full transparency. Yep. But the headline said TPUSA expanding, laugh out loud. So I guess it's also an ad. Hit the like. Yeah, please hit the like. 175 watching, 75 likes. I know, right? It's a small percentage of people that watch to hit the like, but it really doesn't cost anything. You just got to go over there and just push that button. It helps out more than you think, man. So please do if you haven't. And if you have, thank you very much. Let's see. I think Erika was one of those women. Interesting. Yeah, you know, maybe we'll find out more when more files come out. She definitely was some sort of, you know, like Handmaid's Tale or, you know, wife given to Charlie, selected for Charlie, placed to do what she did and what she's doing. Yeah. Keep focusing. I watched that WW episode and immediately thought of Erika. Yeah. Oh, Whitney Webb. Yeah. Okay, Jessica. Okay, exactly. Me too. On my feed, I see you have 11 likes. Oh, well, hopefully more people. Maybe you have to hit refresh. I don't know. Sometimes, like when you logged on and started watching the video, sometimes it shows that. I don't know. Sometimes it refreshes. Sometimes it doesn't. Another, who was it? Donna Sloan. Donna Sloan 2455 said there was 175 watching and only 75 likes. But yeah, if you haven't done it, do it. If you have done it, thank you so much. Let's see. I'm watching all your previous videos. Thank you, Quinn3974. I really appreciate that. That helps. Liked and sub. Thank you, Avi Berkowitz. Too true. Good versus evil is a thing in the recent past. Now is watch out for the wolves dressing up as lambs. I agree. And I would say like everyone at TPUSA is trying to pull that. How stupid was Charlie to fall in love with this fraud? You know, I think it was ignorance. I think it was naivete. I think it was his shortcoming. Like it was his downfall. It was one of the things he wasn't good at, is discerning authenticity and evil and those around him that were there to profit off of him and to get what they wanted from him. So I think that's what it was. Make sure you do the Trump files because they are trying to get that guy off. Yeah, I will. I'll do stuff on all that. A lot of people have been doing the Epstein file release this week. It's been like all over. I just didn't want to be another one that's all they're focusing on. But I mean, yeah, I definitely don't think anyone is innocent up at that level. All right. Let's see. I just started watching recently. Matt is great. Oh, thank you, Oscar. Pesquet, 2025. Anonymous guy that was Charlie's friend said he had filed for divorce but had not gotten the papers done. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that he might have been figuring out a lot of things about Erika in those last months, weeks, and days. And they had to move. I think Charlie was autistic. An attractive girl was easily able to fool him. Yeah, I think, autistic. I mean, so I work with kids on the spectrum. My master's degree is in ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis. I would say he would have fit a different term, and a term that's not really used much anymore, but Asperger's, right? He's very eccentric, very gifted, autodidact, heavily focused, rigid, but very extremely high functioning. So, but I mean, ASD is a spectrum. It goes from one end to the other and everything in between. And Asperger's is not a term that's used anymore because of the guy that created it. Go look at that. That's interesting. Worst actress of the year, hands down. Yeah, I agree. Charlie was not autistic. Yeah, I don't think he was actually autistic, but I mean, he does have qualities that, to me, show that he was weak in the realm of picking up on nonverbal words and language and cues, social norms. That's the only thing for me that can justify how all these people that are so obviously evil and corrupt, it didn't take us long to look at them and watch them speak and what they're doing and going like, oh my God, like these people are clearly not good people. And so the only thing for me is that, because I just don't want to buy into the thing that he was part of it all. I'm not there. And so for me, where I'm at is that this was one of his weaknesses. Yeah. Let's see, his best friend, Tyler Boyer, said she was perfect for him. Yeah, he's the one that set it up, man. That guy's evil. And they're not victims, though they probably have been victimized. I don't know who that was in regards to, but Stu Peters, he's on Rumble, but maybe YouTube would as well. But he's got paperwork showing stuff about Erika's sister. Erika looks like her, but the two are nothing alike. Interesting. I want to find out more about that. There's so much we haven't heard about, like Charlie's family and like what their feelings are on this, and sister and mom and dad. And then, this sister that exists of Erika. Who is she? Where is she? What's going on? Charlie was a child of God. Satan's kids always target gods. Yeah, I agree with that. The financial deals are the Johns. Yeah, Prince Andrew carving up. Okay, Africa Precious. Yeah, I agree. Don't settle for the cheesy au revoirs. And yeah, when there's a steak dinner still in the kitchen. Yeah. Let's see how far we go. Oh, we're all the way down here. I'm going to skip down. I haven't eaten dinner. I got off work. I came home. I prepped for an hour and a half for these two videos, worked all the way right up until, what did I go live at 7? I think so. So 6:59, I was working just right up into the minute, and I still need to go eat and shower and get ready for bed and go to work in the morning. So I had to scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Last week, Mikey McCoy and his wife and Andrew Colvette met. Yeah. Okay. So I'll read that, you guys. There's some things that I didn't know if I was going to be able to fit into this. So yeah, last week, when the head of the Israeli military, the Israeli army, Ewal Zamir, was in Washington, and also the Saudi Arabian defense minister was there. Andrew Colvette, Mikey McCoy, and Elizabeth McCoy were at the White House on the same day for some reason. And then the Saudi defense minister said, if the United States doesn't keep their end of the bargain about Iran, supposedly it's going to get worse. Or, I mean, they're trying to get us into a war with Iran. And that's been the plan for a long time. Yep. And so, yeah, that's very sketchy. Also, the IDF guy, yeah, had meeting same day at the White House. Also, Saudi Arabia, yeah, like I said, the defense minister was there. Yep, yep. Why does she tell people what to do? Why is she the expert? She's not. Yeah, she's trying to use the power and influence that Charlie built and take advantage of it. Let's see. We're going down. Charlie's family most likely had to sign an NDA for some reason to appease Erika. Maybe, probably in order to see the kids. Maybe that's interesting. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't put anything past Erika and TPUSA and Laurie Francevy. I wouldn't. Charlie's mother knew she was no good. How do you know that? Has someone reported that? Oscar Pesquet? 2025? Are you saying that you think that or you know that as a fact? Please put that in the chat. How Charlie's mother knew Erika knew that she was no good. Okay, it was Saudi. Yeah, no, it's okay. Keep focusing. The Saudi Arabian defense minister was there, and then the head of the Israeli army were there. Yep. And they were all there at the White House, and no one wanted to report on it. No major media reported on it, but all the foreign news media did report on them being here. Okay. All right. Let's see. A full-time job and run a podcast. Please don't burn yourself out. Awesome work. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is something I wanted to do for years. And this is like, I get excited to do this. This is like kind of brought excitement in a professional sense. You know, the job I do, it's rewarding in many ways, but it's not like my passion. It's not what I want to do forever, you know, and it is very tiring and draining. But it is rewarding in many ways. Helping kids on the spectrum, kids with challenging behaviors and their families. It is rewarding in its own way, but it's very hard. It's very demanding and exhausting. And so this is something, you know, I didn't grow up in a good family. I didn't grow up in a household that talked about what do you want to do when you grow up? No one helped me plan for my future. And to even begin those planning and preparation in high school and choosing what degree to go into, you know, I joined the Marine Corps. I didn't really have many options. And it was good for me. It did a lot for me. And then I was able to pay for my college. When I got out, I wanted to be a pastor. I wanted to be in ministry. And I got to like my last semester. And then the VA was like, you did a labor market survey and you can't really get a job anywhere with a bachelor's in theology. You need to do something else. And so I picked psychology. So it was a fallback, you know, and then, you know, when you get a degree of psychology, there's really nothing you can do except work in ABA. And then you work in ABA and you want to progress and you want to do more and work and make more and, you know, move up. And the next thing is to get your master's in ABA and you know, work in applied behavioral analysis. So this wasn't a career I chose to do. I mean, I've always wanted to be in helping professions, helping people. I love people, working with people. So, I mean, I'm good at it. But yeah, so, I mean, now as I've gotten older and wanting to figure out what I want to do, something I'm passionate about, something that I could see me doing for a long time, that also could hopefully provide for my family as well, has led me to take the big leap and make the sacrifices that I'm making, and my family makes the sacrifices for me to do this and really pour the time that I can into this. But none of this would be possible without all of you. I'll say that time and time again. I'd be here talking to a screen and a camera if all of you weren't here. And so you guys get the credit so much more than me, and I appreciate that so much more than you know. And I'm not just saying that, it really is how I feel. But all right. Yeah, I don't want war with Iran or Russia or anyone either. It is one big psychological operation. You heard her kids were taken. I mean, that one statement by not Tulsi Gabbard, where she said she lost her husband and she lost her kids. I don't know if that was a Freudian slip, if she meant to say that. It is interesting that she did say that. It is interesting that we haven't seen her kids. It is interesting that the photo she used as an alibi was not of her kids. Her kids are 1 and 3. The kids in that photo were 5 and 7. So there is some interesting things on, like, where are the kids, Erika? That should be like merch. Erika, where are the kids? Where are they? And why aren't you with them? That is just puzzling to me. Yeah, Russia, Korea, I don't want war with anyone right now, period. We've had enough of that. We've never benefited from it. It's only benefited very few individuals and companies and organizations. It's all been false pretenses for these wars. They've never told us the truth. Candace went into it. I know a lot about the Middle East and ancient civilizations, Sumer, Akkadian, the Epic of Gilgamesh, Atrahasis. I'm fascinated with ancient history, alternative history, Graham Hancock, ancient apocalypse. I have a lot of different, unique. I love hidden truth. Like, one of the fascinations I have is I love seeking out truth that is truth, but that they aren't telling us. That's what drives my curiosity, is finding out the truth about things that they're lying to us about. And that goes about everything, you know? So yeah, let's see. Check out the history of Kim Jong-un. His daddy had the Rothschild Central Bank, the building they paid for. The Rothschilds, man, they did everything. They bought the land for Israel. And you're telling me that they still aren't running Israel? They literally bought the land to create Israel after World War II. And we know that what's her name, the Rothschild, is in the Epstein files, was working with, Einstein. I meant to say Einstein. They're starting to crack down on that. So I meant Einstein. But yeah, the Rothschilds are just, they're everywhere, man. And anywhere they show up, you should immediately go, what the heck is going on here? And the creation of Israel, they're all over it. And with Einstein, they're all in it. So yeah. All right. Read my lips. The kids are orphans from Romania and they change frequently. Interesting. So that you're saying that they never had kids and Charlie was in on it then. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'll get there if anything comes out to substantiate that. Love your channel. You're downright on topic. Thank you, Brightening USA. The more you talk, the more I think we might be the same person. Thank you, Sean Gaming. Tartarians' history are hidden. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting deep dive too. Yeah, the mud floods and everything. There's a lot. As the channel grows, what I get into will 100% be about the things that I think are very interesting. And most of it has to do with hidden truths, hidden history, things that are hidden in our current history, our ancient history. And yeah, it's going to be great as we continue to grow. So please, please, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, share it, link it. You can create shorts and put it on other platforms. Do what you got to do. Get the word out there. There's a verse like that the glory of God to hide a mystery and the glory of kings to seek it out. Yeah, something like that. They say it on Haunted Cosmos a lot. Oh, yeah. Half sisters said no kids. Yeah, but where? Who? Erika? Erika's half sister? Who's half sister? Yes. Show me the DNA performed by a third party and I'll shut up. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, I do want to see something. Like, I'm not going to take anyone's just word for it. I think there's a lot of suspicious things around the kids. So yeah, I got questions. I see what you're saying about Romania children. Where would she be hiding them on the military base? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are going into the mud floods again. That is a big secret. They don't want nobody to know. Yeah. Mike Adams Silver just crashed $10 down to 74. I don't know what that means, man. Hopefully that's not a bot. You guys are talking about silver? Okay. I woke up at 9/11. Never the same. Yeah. Go watch Tucker Carlson did a deep dive on 9/11, and it by no means was exhaustive either. There was still many things that he didn't cover, other things that I know about things that are no longer on the internet. Like previous to COVID, there's things that you used to be able to find on YouTube. They're not there anymore. Videos, documentaries. There's a lot that used to be there that's just not there anymore. That's why they want off the Earth, go to Mars. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. I'm starving. I need to go eat and take a shower and go to bed. And I got to get up and do it all again tomorrow. And so do you. So I wish you the best. I thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Take care.